How much are you worth? How much value do you place on yourself in your individual parts? How much is each finger worth in dollars? $100, $200, $1,000, $100,000, or $1 million or more? How much are your ears worth? $100, $500, $10,000, $500,000, or $10 million or more? How much are your eyes worth per eye? $1, $100, $10,000, $100,000 or more? How much is your heart worth? $1 million or $100 million or more? Is there a number value you can put on your heart? Can you easily get another one if you need it? How much is your brain worth? Is there a number value you can put on your brain? Is it priceless? How about an arm, leg, foot, or hand? I think you get the idea. But how much is another person's body parts worth to you? I suppose it depends on who that person is. Probably not as much as your own body parts if all your parts are working correctly. Value at that point is relative. Your body parts are probably priceless to you because you need most of them to live and prosper, and yet you may not feel that way about someone else. Value is generally a relative term to the importance you place on yourself and other people. When people are murdered by someone else, which unfortunately happens frequently around the world, the person who did the killing, let's say the man in this case, who killed the other person, let's say a woman, he likely felt that woman's body had no real value to him, and that's why he could and would kill her. She had no real value at all. Do other people think you have value, extreme value? It would be great if all people would value their fellow human beings and see them as having great worth and value, no matter what they look like and where they live. When a lion kills a zebra in the wild, that zebra likely has little or no value to us as humans, because we might say, there's always another zebra out there who will replace the dead one. Besides, that lion needed food. There are plenty of zebras, so no big deal if one gets killed by a lion and eaten. After all, that lion was hungry, and that's the way animals in the wild work and exist. We think the same way about our food. The chicken we eat, the hamburger that tastes good, the fish we consume were once all living life forms that were just minding their own business until we came along and killed them for our purposes. Their worth was their value in feeding us that was important. When a living person is killed, their value is really all about what you think it is, or so it would seem. When it comes to placing a value on yourself as a human, most people would say they would not trade themselves or any of their important body parts for any amount of money in this world. They will help and reach out to people in many situations, but they would not die for them or give up a body part that might cause their own death. The people who do not attach much or any value to their own lives are the ones most likely to kill another person or not care about other human beings because of their own selfishness, greed, hate, jealousy, or lack of self-worth. We see this behavior all around the world, such as in mass shootings, war, or in personal relationships. It is sad when that happens. If each human person in our world saw all other humans as being valuable, then what? Would that ever be possible? Absolutely not. This is because humans have lived on Earth for a fairly long time, and so far this has never happened. This is because humans are flawed. There is no evidence of human beings changing for the better, no matter how hopeful we are. When reading or hearing the latest local or worldwide news, there is no shortage of hate, destruction, threats, war, or rumors of wars. Governments oppose each other along with their countries and their societies in those countries. Humans overall have proven they cannot be trusted to change, and groups of people all around the world have an agenda for favoring themselves over others, and many times at the other person's expense. Power, greed, and control have always been part of the fabric of human existence. As humans, many of us have a distinct tendency to want whatever helps us individually, and not so much for the other person. Perhaps we do value and love another human more than ourselves, such as our children or spouse or parents. This would not be unusual because we are automatically protective of our loved ones, and there are parents who have died trying to save their children from harm. But when we die, and that will happen to all of us one day, then what are we worth? It depends on who you ask. If you are directly related to the person who died, such as your parent, grandparent, or child, then that person probably has irreplaceable value and worth to you because of your relationship with them. They were and are priceless. But how about 300 years from now, when everyone who ever knew you is long gone and no one thinks about you anymore? How much worth to anyone will you have then? You won't be alive to think about your worth and value, and neither will anyone who ever knew you. So then what? Do you have less and less value while you are decaying in the grave or turned to dust over the years? The answer in human terms is yes. Your value as a mortal human being will eventually be gone. There is no question about that. There have been billions of people throughout human existence who thought they were valuable in some way while they were alive. But now those people have no value at all because they are long gone. Their body parts have deteriorated, and they will no longer have value to anyone who is living hundreds of years later, or even 50 to 100 years later. Speaking of body parts, these days you can donate your body parts while you are alive and after you have just died. Those body parts can mean life to those who need them because they have important body parts that are no longer working anymore or whose parts are about to fail. Imagine needing a heart, lung, kidney, or liver because they have stopped working for you, and then someone, either alive or just deceased, donated that needed body part for you, and it cost you nothing for that part. That would be amazing. Let's say you get that needed body part. It matches your physiology, it takes, it works, and you are healed and revived and continue to live on. How much was that body part worth to you if you needed it to live? $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $100 million or more? That donated body part was probably priceless to you, otherwise you would have died. Value is relative to the immediate need, but worth can eventually become worthless as time goes on. Your worth as a human being will absolutely go to zero one day way in the future, no matter who you were or what you did as a person. Even the most famous actors, musicians, celebrities, athletes, politicians, scientists, inventors, and business owners will have no more immediate value when they are dead and gone and the years pass by. Sometimes when famous people die, you may read about their death and see that someone who knew them said of that person, "He or she led an incredible life, and their legacy will live on forever through their family and the countless hours on film, television, and/or musical concerts that will never go away." But that description is only true for the moment to make us feel good. In reality, their memories and what they did will eventually fade away and disappear through the passages of time. It will be like they were never here except maybe in history books, manuscripts, or old videos. How does that make you feel to know one day your body and mind will be worthless regardless of how strong or smart you are now? Maybe you are a renowned scientist now, but who will care in 300 years? Maybe you are or know a popular US senator, congressman, or Supreme Court justice, or some other government official here in the US or in another country. But who will care in 300 years? We've only had US presidents, senators, congressmen, and justices since 1776 in this country. That's not many years compared to all of human history, and people today know very few of them from the past. In other countries, their history goes back much further than that. Perhaps a person is currently very famous and recognized throughout our country and throughout the world, such as Elon Musk, the creator of Tesla car company, SpaceX rocket company, and owner of X Twitter, along with many more companies. He has millions and even billions of dollars in the bank and in huge investments of valuable assets. But if you had that fame and fortune, would you give all that up if your heart was starting to go bad and you needed a new heart to continue to live? Or would you rather die rich and famous and be dead much sooner? Value in life is always relative to what we have, what we need, what we want, what we can get, and who we are. While we are alive, value can change from one day to the next. But is value ever permanent and unsurpassed? When does value become absolute and have the biggest impact on us? A particularly hot topic these days is the subject of abortion. Abortion is and has been known as the premeditated removal and destruction of a human life in the womb of a human mother. On one side of the abortion issue are people who believe abortion is wrong to do and very bad. On the other side of the issue are people who believe it is the right thing to do and can be very good. But in reality, it is the value placed on that young, preborn living human life that really counts. Also, the life in the mother's womb is a human life, and that should make all the difference with regard to his or her value. What is the value or worth of the human baby in the womb versus the human mother outside of that womb, and what the mother wants or needs? Please watch part 2 of our video series, How Much Are You Worth?